Hi, everyone. First Alert Meteorologist Scott Gagliardi here with your First Alert Weather Extra on this Thursday morning. We had a good deal of rain last night, soaking in some areas along the shoreline, half of an inch up to 3/4 of an inch of rain. That was overnight. Yeah, it was pretty good. If you've been watering the plants or it's something that you normally have been doing. I know my mom, she's trying to grow that grass in our backyard. And I didn't need to water yesterday. Likely won't need to water again until tomorrow, but by this weekend, heavy rain expected on our Saturday. So, yeah, you won't need to water by then as well. If you're looking for warmth, we have that in our 7-day forecast, but that Saturday, this coming Saturday, that's our First Alert weather day. Let's take a look outside, though. Here's our iCam in Old Saybrook. Notice, look at all the boats in the marina. Everybody just waiting to get out there. We're hoping by next week, or we're forecasting by next week, temperatures in the 80s. So maybe you took off the first week of June. It looks good. It looks warm. Very excited about it. We'll see if we get dry weather on the weekends. It's not this weekend, so maybe next weekend we'll see some improvements, but plenty of time to focus on that. Right now, a live look in Middletown. Notice Route 9 north by the lights there. Traffic certainly backing up. Wet roadways, even a few raindrops still on the lens there. Some areas along the shoreline and even as north as Middletown, seeing some mist and drizzle out there. That will continue throughout the next couple of hours. Up at Bradley, it's 56 degrees with mostly cloudy skies. Let's check in on May because we started off the month very warm. Those 80s, look at that. 83 the second, 85 on the third. And then we started to mix in a few cooler days. The third week of May that was a good week. 70s, some 80s. But last week, though, awful. 60s down to 50s. The forecast or the temperature on Thursday, the 22nd, look at that, 49 degrees. That was a week ago today. We will be about 20 degrees warmer than that. It's falling short of our average. We should be 75. We're forecasting those upper 60s. And we stay below average. Friday, tomorrow, maybe getting up into those upper 70s, maybe a couple degrees above, but then below average once again for Saturday. The bigger deal, though, has certainly been all this rainfall. It's quite remarkable to think that we've had so many days of temperatures that were cooler than average, but also precip. Look at that. We're above average for the month, well above. With more rain expected on, say, Friday night into Saturday, and then throughout the day on our Saturday, we're likely talking top 5 wettest Mays, which is pretty remarkable when you think about, so records began back in 1905, so 120 years ago, and for us to be in the top 5, considering how we just came off a pretty severe drought for our state, it's really these extremes. We had, go back all the way to August of last year, the 18th, when we had that flooding rain in parts of the Naugatuck and Housatonic River. Extreme, for sure. And then after that, drought through basically April. And now, looking at May, top 5 wettest on record. So very all over the place, I guess you could say. So far, we've seen, say, just under 6 3/4 inches this month. But what we're forecasting by Saturday, anywhere from an inch to maybe 2 inches. Yeah, we're definitely talking top 5. Do we see top 4? Maybe even top 3? Top 3 is within the realm of possibility, considering the 1 to 2 inches of rain that is possible on Saturday. But right now, First Alert Live Radar basically scans the state dry. Notice a few of those blips of green on the radar through some parts of New Haven County and Middlesex County. That's some mist and some drizzle. We have an area of low pressure developing to the south of Connecticut. That will pull away. But we saw a good amount of rain last night. Notice the heaviest amounts confined to southwestern parts of our state, up to 3/4 of an inch. Generally, 1/4 to about 1/2 of an inch of rain, the exception being northwestern Connecticut, where you didn't see much, a trace amount up to maybe 1/10 of an inch in some areas, but plenty more where this came from by Saturday. Temperatures out there right now, 50s and a couple 60s. 60 right now in Meriden, 61 in New Haven, 57 in Hartford, Tolland, and Putnam, 58 in Willimantic. Wind speeds, they're generally calm right along the immediate shoreline, though, in that 5 to 15 mile per hour range. And those winds are generally also coming out of the east, which keeps us locked into somewhat cooler weather. Visibility has been improving, but still not perfect 10. We're seeing a perfect 10 for a few areas to the north and to the west, and to the east, I should say. But we notice Groton, 3 mile visibility, same for Meriden and Danbury, 2.5 miles in Bridgeport. The conditions will improve. It's just going to take several hours. Zooming out, looking at the eastern half of the United States. So we have some of those showers associated with the low pressure just to the south of Long Island. Those will pull away, and improvements later on today, maybe even a few rays of sunshine by sunset. And then notice through parts of West Virginia and Virginia, see some of those showers there. That's what we'll see tomorrow. Very isolated in nature. Tomorrow is basically okay, but a shower here or there can't be ruled out. And then what we see coming out of the Gulf of Mexico through parts of Mississippi and Alabama, as well as an area of low pressure to the west through Oklahoma and Kansas. Both of those really cause for a wet day on our Saturday. Notice here locally, showers to the north and to the south of Connecticut. We'll eventually get into a bit of improvements. Notice temperatures to the north. It's where we've seen the warmer weather. Burlington, Vermont, and Portland, Maine, 63. Everybody else held back into the 50s just because of the thicker clouds and some of the rain. Now, in terms of the dew points, we don't get quite humid, but you might notice a touch of mugginess in the air, especially tomorrow and Saturday. But improvements expected by the end of the weekend, Sunday, June 1st. And throughout next week, we're looking at mild temperatures, but not much in the way of humidity. Our first alert weather day, that's for Saturday. Periods of rain throughout the day. We're talking morning and into the afternoon. And then maybe even a few storms late day. Any and all in outdoor plans, they'll be impacted. You'll see it all play out on our first alert futurecast. So once we get through this morning, still keeping clouds around, and some clearing out towards the west makes its way into Connecticut by sunset. Here's 8 p.m. Overnight, we're doing okay. Clouds begin to increase somewhat overnight, but tomorrow we're talking a mix of sun and clouds to start the day. It's really later on that we see a few pop-up showers, more in the way of some cloudiness. Some puffy cumulus clouds eventually give way to a few of these showers. Here's 3 p.m. Notice along and to the north of I-84, but everybody runs the risk, even towards the dinner rush. This is on your Friday evening. And then later Friday night into the first part of our Saturday morning. Look at that. Some signals of some moderate to even heavy rain depicted by that orange and red shading there. And then it continues. Here's 7 a.m. Waking up to, again, that moderate rain, heavy at times, continues through the morning hours. Any plans you had first thing on your Saturday, not looking good. And once again, another Saturday we can sleep in. Towards the afternoon, here's 2 p.m. Notice maybe a few breaks in the clouds. This isn't too promising, but still, it's going to be a pretty wet day. Once we get towards, say, let's back that up a little bit, 4, 5, 6 o'clock. Yeah, the rain. This is where we could have a few thunderstorms. Not looking at any severe weather. Right now, the strongest thunderstorms look to be well south of Connecticut, but we'll keep an eye on it. And we're expecting better weather by our Sunday, so that's some good news. But if you're looking for more rain, well, yeah, it's on the way. The American model on the left, depicting 1 inch to 2 inches, maybe a little bit more. Notice that red shading there through parts of Hartford and Tolland County. That's been shifting around, though, parts of New York and then back to Connecticut. So I'd say by this time tomorrow, we'll have a much better idea of who sees the heaviest rain. But there are certainly signals on both the American and the European model that 1 inch to 2 inches is possible within the state of Connecticut. So Saturday, a very, very wet day. Forecast highs today. We had a few of those showers first thing this morning, but those are coming to an end, keeping clouds around. It's cooler than it should be this time of year, but that'll be better once we get towards the second half of the day. Tonight, we're looking at mostly cloudy skies, some partial clearing expected very late. Temperatures mid-50s, about average. If you're looking for average temperatures, we'll see those tomorrow, maybe even a degree or two above, 77. For the last day of May, what a way to end the month. I mean, a first alert weather day, rain likely, maybe even a few storms. So that rounds out May. But then we start off Sunday, June 1st, couple clouds, improvements towards the end of the day, or we'll say improvements throughout the day, gradually getting better with each passing hour on your Sunday. It stays a bit breezy. Temperatures in those low 70s, so still a couple degrees below average. By Monday, June 2nd, looks good, 75 degrees, and then we're pushing 80 for Tuesday, Wednesday, maybe even the low 80s. Like in June so far, it looks like it'll stay warm as well. The thinking from NOAA, we had the outlook come out, the 6 to 10 day outlook, as well as the 8 to 14. So basically the first 2 weeks of June, very strong signals of at or above average, which at this time of year, yeah, that puts us into the 80s. So great news there if you like the warmth. There's a look at your shoreline high temperatures over the next 7. Some 70s will return tomorrow, and then back down into the 60s on Saturday. Once again, that first alert weather day. We're calling it quite a washout for your Saturday. Maybe a break in the action throughout the afternoon, but still, it's looking pretty wet. Improvements on your Sunday, Monday, Tuesday look good, and then even along the shoreline, pushing 80 degrees by next Wednesday. All right, guys, thanks for watching. Today looks to see gradual improvements and not much in the way of any more rain. A few isolated showers tomorrow, but Saturday, that's the wet day. All right, have a great day. Thanks for watching, and we will see you back on, we have a great day at 9 a.m. You can get a weather update from Scott Haney. I'll be on the noon, and then over on the Wax at 12:30. If you're looking for another First Alert Weather Extra, well, you can tune in tonight at 9:30, and we'll have another one of those. All right, have a great day.